let's discuss further into the IDX performance and take a deeper look at which direction it could potentially take with Gemma Guryadi, the Astronacci founders and CEO. Pa Gemma, are you there with us? Hi. We got you there.
Yeah.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
All right, so let's take a look at
All
right, so let's take a look at the Jakarta Composite Index. So how is the performance so far, and then how you see it as coming days or years?
Okay, let's talk about the short-term outlook for JCI, and we believe the sideways movement will be continued for the whole August 2024. We have Mercury retrograde cycle the first week of August, which is 4th of August, that will bring the sideways to short-term bearish movement for Indonesia market.
Okay.
JCI most likely going to be declining to 7,100 for the next upcoming weeks. So that's what I'm looking at now. We're looking at the like the whole year. We believe the bullish trend will still with our market, and then we're looking for 7,800 for the final target for 2024, or probably going to extend to the first quarter 2025. But in terms of the week's outlook, like I said, this sideways movement will still continue until the second week to third week of August.
All right, so you mentioned like it looks like on the short term it's going to go hit 7,100, but for 2024 we might going to reach the 7,800 right there. So the impact on the JCI with no rate cut or hike, what's going to happen if there's no rate cut for this year?
When the Fed holds the rate, okay, for the past 20 years, the impact will be a positive to Jakarta Composite Index, since as we know, when the United States keep increasing their rate, it means the JCI will also need to Indonesian will also need to increasing its rate. Otherwise, people are going to go out from Indonesia, capital outflow going to happen, and then they will go to United States to put the money there.
Yeah.
That's why when the Fed holds the rate, it means there's a potentially good for Indonesia, and people stays in our country, probably going to stay in capital markets, still buying, especially when Indonesia now has a higher rate compared to the United States. It means people are going to more likely come to our country and put their money here in terms of in the time deposit or buying the bonds or even the stocks market. So when the Fed decided to hold the rate, it means that it could be a positive for Indonesia.
All right, so it sounds like we're hoping that the Fed actually going to hold the rates for a better JCI performance. So the last couple of days, we already seen like some reports from some of LQ45 companies. One of them are BRI or BBRI and BCA. So what can we see from this performance of this quarterly 2 financial report?
I'm really glad that these two banks has a positive in the financial report. They are really great on their business. So this will be a golden opportunity for all investors to keep looking to these two banks. BRI, we got a pretty confident target price at 6,400, and then you can start buying these stocks at 4,500. And BBCA, also one of the strongest stocks in Indonesia. There's nothing wrong to invest in this stock. Financially is pretty strong, and then when we take a look to the price action, we believe the all-time high will happen, and we're looking at roughly about like 10,700 to 11,000 for the next upcoming months, maybe 3 or 4 months from now. And for the long-term target, it's very possible for the BCA to hit 11,500. So these two banks, they're very strong financially, good business model, and then liquidity-wise, I really recommend you to start buying on weakness on these stocks. When you see a declining momentum, you see a big correction, that's the best time to buy these two stocks.
Interesting. So are those two banks are your recommendation for this week to buy, or do you have any?
Yes. So let's start with the JCI. The time support, when we talk about the time trading, we're looking at the 2nd of August, or at least the 1st of August will be the short-term rebound, the short-term time support for the JCI, and also for the BRI and the BCA, we're looking at the 2nd of August.
Okay.
That could be a time support or a good time for all traders to start buying the stocks.
All right, so you mentioned here you have your head graphic, it's time support around August 2nd, and you mentioned up to the second week. And then as you mentioned earlier, expected upside target, even like this year, might hit all-time high at 11,550. And then so let's take a look.
Yes, that's correct.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's for the longer term trader or investor. That's why we put the number there. So
Okay.
if you decide to hold the stocks until the end of the year, then you can look at 11,700.
Okay.
That's why July, August, and September are the best months to collect stocks when they're coming into a deep correction.
All right, so and then for BRE, you mentioned earlier the gap area is around 4,500, and then it's look like
Correct.
on the beginning of August, and expected it's gonna be around 6,500. Is this gonna be for long term or short terms for 6,500?
It should be less than 12 months, and this 98% probability is gonna hit 6,400, and then could be extended to 6,500 with 75% statistic probability.
All right, so Indonesia has a higher interest rate, obviously at the 6.25%, 75 BPS greater than the U.S. interest rate. Now, this might be a better opportunity for investor to invest in emerging market. Like, don't you But you mentioned earlier, people, if the U.S. hold at the 5.5, they will. If they lower it, will an investor will come in even better to Indonesian market?
Yeah, because how the fund management work, they will have the allocation for their portfolio to the emerging country.
All right.
And we should get their attention when people out there coming to emerging country, we hope that they're going to put their money in Indonesia. So foreign direct investment number will be higher. And if we're looking at 6.25%, and then it's very attractive number for people who put the money here, if the interest rate is going higher, of course, that will attract the good part. So the banking sector will get affected, and then time deposit, maybe bond will be affected. But the cons is when people get a loan, like they have a debt, and of course the interest rate gonna hurt some stocks or companies listed in our market that has big loan numbers, okay, and the debt. So they need to pay more because the interest expense will get higher and higher. And then for retail, if they have like a mortgage, that also gonna be negative side. But when we talk about how to attract people come to Indonesia, if that's the context, I agree. When Indonesia have like 6.25 or even 6.5%, that will be beneficiary for our country.
All right, so before I let you go, FOMC is starting out tomorrow morning for us, tonight in your times, and then we're gonna find out more on Wednesday or Thursday our time. So how do you see what's coming up this week, and then do you see there's gonna be rate cut September or November?
So two things. First, in the United States, roughly, there's not much high inflation number. And then number two, Democrat is fighting with the Republic in the election. I don't think that they're going to increase the rate for now. Probably they're going to hold it because this is a part of the political strategy. And higher probability, they're going to hold the interest rate for now.
All right. Well, Pagama, thank you so much for being on the show. It's always a pleasure
My
to have
pleasure,
you
my
at
honor.
the
Thank you
CU
so
today.
much.
All right. With that, let's take a break. After that, in today's Business Talk segment, we'll explore how women can not only participate in, but excel at gold investments. Stay tuned for that.